Okay. Hello everybody, my name is Kelsey and we're about to get very, very nerdy with a challenge video. So today I thought what we would do is one that I saw on EmmaBooks channel. She has a new challenge out. She posted it not too long ago. I actually don't know when she posted it, but it was recently, and it is the History of My Bookshelf challenge, where she has about, I think there are 26 questions, and she just scours her bookshelves and times herself to see how fast she can do it. And it looked like so much fun, so I thought that I would give it a shot. I'm going to set up my camera in a way that you can see my entire bookshelves, or at least the ones that I use the most. I'm hoping to find a way to get all of the angles that I need for that. And then time myself and see how fast I can do it, and then I will come back here and explain what each of these books mean and why they fit those challenges, and any thoughts or stuff that I have attached to them. I will leave all the questions down below if you would like to try this challenge out for yourself, see how fast you can be, and then I will also leave a link to Emma's channel and her video of this, where she is doing this herself, because it is quite a lot of fun, and her answers are so much better than mine, I'm sure will be. So let's just get going. Let's see if I can set up a way that we can see everything. Okay, so this is my big view. I've got my main 3 shelves, my little itty bitty shelf, and then I've got another side recording this side, which, hello, is these 2 shelves over here. I do have a couple shelves in that direction, but those are all nonfiction books, and most of them are not mine, so I doubt I'll even get to anything over there. So this is my setup. I have all the questions and a timer on my laptop. So let's see how good I do. I don't even remember what Emma's time was. So according to her, she did it in just over 10 minutes. Let's get started. Okay, I've got my timer set up, got my questions over here, ready, and go. The oldest book on my shelf, is that like the oldest I own, or like the oldest, like physically? I'm gonna go with the oldest physically. So we'll do this one. I don't even know where to put the book you read in 2013. Okay, that would have been when I graduated high school. So, oh shoot, what did I read when I graduated high school? Oh, ooh. Ha ha ha. Okay. One is what, 2014? I would have been a freshman in college. Oh, I know exactly. Where is it? Shoot. I know what book I'm looking for. There it is. Okay. Oh! 2015. I would have been a sophomore. Did I read anything when I was a sophomore? Okay, I think this is right. I don't know how accurate I am. I might have read this one in 17, not 16. Whatever. Okay, 16. So this would have been, I was a junior in college. What did I read when I was a junior? Do I have any textbooks from when I was a junior? Okay. I think I read this one when I was a junior. I'm gonna go with maybe. Okay, and then 17. 17. I just had one. Oh! Okay. 18. That was, like literally anything on my shelf that I read last year. That was this year. Shiitakes. That was last year. And then 19 is this year, like literally anything. I just read this one. We'll go with that. This is gonna fall over soon. A book you read more than once. The one is Harry Potter, but I feel like I used that for something else. I'll like this one. Stay. A book you waited over a year to be published. Oh, well that just fell over. For a year to be published, like literally everything. I'm gonna break the rule and use 2 from the same series. A book you read on vacation away from home. Oh. This one. A book you got from someplace special, anything that's not like a local bookstore or an online retailer. Something special. I get most of my books from like bookstores. Oh, okay. I do that. A book that made you cry. Oh. Every time. A book you read in one sitting. Oh, shoot, that one. Yes. A book that has been damaged. Where's that one that looks awful? Oh, there it is. Okay. A book you got on sale or discounted. Everything I Own? I think. Oh, where's that one? There it is. A book you read with someone else, Buddy read. Oh, I already put that one in here. Crap. Wait. Yes. I think this one counts. The book you associate with a song. Well, crap. Oh, yes. How am I going to get this off the shelf? Oh, okay. That one. A book you associate with food? Like, because it's about food, or like I ate it with food? Because I don't think I have anything like I associate with a specific type of food, besides like what is written. Oh, I don't know if I have one for this. I got nothing. Yeah, I got nothing. I don't think I got nothing on that one. A book you got years ago that you probably wouldn't buy now. Like so many of these. Shoot! Oh, this one has a story. I'll put that one down. A book you associate with a specific time in your life. I used to have one. Oh dear. Like, do you mean season? Because I have so many for like a specific season. Specific time in my life. Yikes. Oh, actually this one works. We'll go with that one. A book you used to like but don't anymore. Well. Well. I have no idea. I'm gonna go, I think, with this one. I think this one will work. Right? Yeah. I think I'm gonna go with that one. And then the newest book on your shelf. Oh! Literally just bought it yesterday. Okay. I'm just going to try to find one that associates with food, because that's the one that I didn't have. Okay. Actually, this one could kind of work. Yes. Okay. Y'all! 9 minutes and 9 seconds. Well, that was fun. Welcome back to my corner. It is time for me to go through all the books that I picked off the shelves in just over 9 minutes. Like, I can't even believe I did that. I will say before I go into this list that I did not do what EmmaBooks did, which was she only allowed herself one book from each series. Now, I did that with like most series. I tried to steer away from, including multiple books from each series, but some I just couldn't do that. And like for me, some evoke different things. Like I have different memories with different books in that series, so I do have a few here, but like I didn't do what she did. Just going to put that out as a disclaimer. The very first question was the oldest book on your shelf, and I took this to mean the oldest print-wise, not the oldest one that I have on my shelf, because honestly I have no idea. So I picked up this one. This is the Alice in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. Now this one was published, it looks like this one was published in 1953, so it's like falling apart. You can see the beautiful tape all around it. But yeah, and ooh, okay, it is absolutely gorgeous underneath this cover. I'm not quite sure why I have the cover anymore. But yeah, I picked this one because I'm pretty sure this is the oldest book that I have physically on my shelves. The next question was a book that you read in 2013. So I picked up Beautiful Darkness by Cami Garcia and Margaret Stoll. This is the second in the Beautiful Creatures series. Beautiful Creatures was like my favorite book when I read it, and so I needed the rest of the series. And I'm pretty sure I read that one when I was a junior in high school, so this one just felt appropriate. I'm pretty sure I read this right after. The next book was one that you read in 2014, and 2014 for me was my first year in college. Being in college minus the summers, I didn't read a whole lot, minus, like what we had to read for class, but this was one of the ones that I actually sat down and was able to read, and that is The Host by Stephanie Meyer. I had put this one off for a very long time. I had gotten into the Twilight craze, and then I had gotten out of the Twilight craze, and so I really didn't want to read this chunk of a book. However, I did watch the movie, I believe, before I went to college, and found this one in my college library and said, ooh, yes. So I just remember sitting down and utterly devouring this book, to the point where I remember it being like a Saturday, because it was like 2 a.m. and I'm crying in my bed, and Lauren woke up, looked at me and was like, she is crying, and then went back to sleep. That is a very vivid memory that I have. 2015 would have been a Monkey Town by Rachel Held Evans. This is one that an uncle had given me and thought that I would really enjoy it. It is a girl who, it's a Christian book, but it's about a girl who grows up in the town where the famous science monkey trial is, and the whole, religion versus evolution thing was going on. I definitely remember reading this my sophomore year. I don't remember if it was Christmas or the summer around there, but definitely read that then. 2016 would have been my junior year, and that one I definitely didn't read a whole lot of. But that was when I was introduced to Philippa Gregory, and I had started The Queen's Fool. This was the only Philippa Gregory book that I had at that point, and I had started it, but I never got around to it. And then I completely finished it during the winter weekend. I think this was the year when our Wi-Fi went out for at least 2 out of the 3 weeks that I was home for winter break, and I devoured 5 books those 2 weeks because I didn't have anything else to do, and absolutely loved it. And this is where my Philippa Gregory love started from, was this book right here. So the next year would be a book that she read in 2017, and that was when I was a senior in college, and I was taking a class called Christian Lit, and we just read a ton of books and talked about any kind of religious themes they may have had in it. And that is when I discovered Wonder by R.J. Palacio. This is one of the books that we read in that class, and I just devoured it. I don't know what else to say. I literally didn't do anything else. I just really enjoyed my time reading this one. So that's when I discovered Wonder and all of the amazing things that have to do with this book. And then one that I read in 2018, which was last year, which would have been my first real year here on BookTube, I picked up, because it was the first one I saw on my shelves, but I picked up, oh, I just hit my bookshelf. I picked up Heart of Iron by Ashley Poston. This was one of the most surprising, slash one of my favorite books that I read last year, and it was just where my eyes went automatically. And then the one that I picked for 2019 was one that I have just now recently finished, and if you are watching my Believe-a-thon vlogs, you will know that I have raved about this one, and that is The School for Good and Evil by Saman Chinani. I am sure I pronounced that wrong. I love this one, and so this one was I think as of recording this, the one that I have finished the most recently, so it was right there on the brain. The next one is a book that I read more than once. I don't reread a whole lot, minus Harry Potter, Jane Austen, and then the select random few. I just don't reread because there are so many books out there that I love that I just don't have the time to reread books, and I just want to read all of the new ones that are coming out. So this one is just one that I read recently, so it's what was in my brain. And that is The Bad Beginning, the first one for a series of unfortunate events. If you watch my Believe-a-thon vlogs, I read this one in my last one, and I'm rereading this one with Serena from Wandering Mind, and she has never read these before, and I have, so it's really interesting getting that perspective. The next book is a book that I waited a year to be published, and now that I'm thinking about it, I have a couple for these, but this one just was in my head and I saw it, so that's what I picked, and that is Soul of Stars by Ashley Poston. This is the second to Heart of Iron. I did read that one, The Heart of Iron, last year near the end, and I had to wait almost an entire year for this one to come out because it came out in July, I believe. The next book is a book that you read on vacation or away from home, and I chose Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQueston. This one I read this summer. So it was one of the 2 books that I read this summer. when Chris and I were going, we just took a week off at the beach to de-stress, and I read this one at the beach. Like, I did nothing but read this book. It was so much fun. The next one is a book that you got someplace special that's not like a bookstore or anything. And a lot of the books that I get are from bookstores. But I did find this one, which kind of represents an entire series, not just one book, and that is this absolutely beautiful copy of a Nancy Drew book. This one specifically was The Secret of the Golden Pavilion. I've got about 10 of these. My uncle had these and collected them, and for a couple of years, for like birthdays and stuff, he would give me 2 or 3, and they all look very similar to this. I don't know where he gets them from, but like the insides are really pretty, and they're like really fragile, and they have like pictures with them. It's just, they're so beautiful. The next prompt is a book that made you cry, and this is the one that I think of whenever I think about books that make me cry, and that is the 7th Harry Potter. Now, this one is specifically because of the scene in the forest that Harry has near the very, very end when he's going to talk to Voldemort and he sees his family again. I don't care how many times I read this book. I don't care. I will be 100 and have read it a million times, and I will still cry during that scene every single time. So this is definitely the one that I thought of like instantly for this. The next is a book that you read in one sitting, and I picked yesterday. I was The Moon by Nora Unar. This is a book that I read last year, I believe, for the Owls or the Newts. I think it was the Newts. And it is a poetry book that I just randomly picked up at, I believe it was Target, and I sat down one day just planning to read a few before I went to bed, and then just like ran through the whole thing. Obviously, I liked it. I don't know if you can see how many tabs I have in it. I'm going through these and I'm realizing I missed 3 questions. Now I'm really bitter at myself. No wonder I didn't take very long to do this. They are a book you got as a gift, a book you read before owning, and a book you lent to someone else. I just thought of 3 instantly. Okay, I know exactly what I'm going to use. So let's just add like 30 seconds onto my time because I am an idiot. So the first one was a book that you got as a gift, and the one I picked up was The Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. This one is like the beautiful Barnes & Noble edition that I stared at every single time I went into Barnes & Noble, and Lauren bought it for me for Christmas, I believe, or was it my birthday? She got it for me, and I am very appreciative of that, and I'm really looking forward to the second one, which is coming out very, very soon. But it's just like this gorgeous one, and it's got a beautiful cover, and I was just obsessed with it and talked about literally nothing but it. Every time we went in, like I would go by and I would just like pet it, and then I would continue on. The one that I thought of for a book that I read before I bought was Illuminae, the first in the Illuminae files by J. Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. This one I picked up from the library because I heard a lot about it, but I was really iffy. Thought, you know, I'll just pick it up, and if I don't like it, then like that'll be fine. And I could just take it back. And then of course I loved it, and then I found this copy at a Books-A-Million. Well, Lauren found this copy, and then I bought it for like $5. And the book that I lent to someone, I chose The Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society by Mary Ann Schaefer and Annie Barrows. This is one that's told completely in letter format, and I love it. And I let Lauren borrow this. I let my mom borrow this. Like, this is one that I will lend to everybody. Also, my favorite part about this book is that I got it in a book swap. I did something with some friends on Facebook one year where you got you got an address and you sent your favorite book to somebody else, and then in doing so you got a book sent to you. So I sent off Pride and Prejudice to somebody, and this one got sent to me, and I'd never heard of it before, but the person loved it. It was their favorite book, and like, that is so cool, and I still have it. Book nerds are awesome. The next question is one that is damaged, and so I picked up my copy of Twilight. Don't know if you can see this, but there is literally Scotch tape around all of the edges. The spine looks horrendous. Like, it has been, like, it is, look at that, I can see you. It has been through some things. I took this everywhere when I was reading it, and it has seen the inside of many a backpack. The next one was to pick up a book that was on sale or discounted, and a good chunk of these books I buy discounted or on sale. The first one that I thought of was this one. It's called Love Virtually by Daniel Glatner. This one I got at Goodwill for like $1, and I picked it up because it's told in this email format. I've actually already read this one. I believe I read this one in October, so make sure you check out that wrap up if you were interested in my thoughts on it. The next one was to pick up a book that you have read with someone else. So I picked up The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren for this book because Lauren and I were supposed to read this one and Red, White, and Royal Blue during June. We were supposed to buddy read those two books, and I believe that we did, kind of. So like we put, basically they said like, we're gonna both read these books this month, and that's like all the stipulations we put on it. I don't think I got to this until July, but neither did Lauren, and I think we read it about the same time. I'm not entirely sure, but we were supposed to buddy read this one, so this is the one that I chose for that. The next one is a book that you associate with a song, and so I picked up Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen because of the absolutely gorgeous, I don't know if you've seen the 2005 Keira Knightley version of that movie, but in the very beginning of it, it is this song, and I'm blanking on what it is called, but it's this absolutely gorgeous piano version of it. I will leave it linked below if I can find it, because I know it's on YouTube somewhere. Like, we had that played at our wedding because I was so obsessed with that. But it's beautiful. I love that song so much. And it just reminds me of this because it's just peaceful and awesome, and it was played during the Pride and Prejudice movie, so really that just reminds me of Pride and Prejudice and like Jane Austen books in general. The next one is one that you associate with a type of food, and this is the one that I like couldn't decide on for a while, and then I went back and I picked something else up. And for me, I picked up The Bells by Danielle Clayton, and honestly, I don't really associate a lot of books with food, except for when I looked at this cover, I instantly thought of like little pastries and like French desserts. Like that's what I thought of, and I think it's just because this is supposed to be set in like a French type of setting. The next one is a book that you got many years ago and you probably wouldn't pick up now, and this one has a little bit of a story, and that is In the Woods by Taina French. This one I saw like many years ago where the back was obsessed with this. I remember taking a picture of it to remember this book so that I could get it at a later date, and I didn't get it, and I didn't get it, and I didn't get it. And a couple years ago I saw it at a book sale, like one of those really cheap ones, and picked it up for like $1 or $2. Totally not reading the back, just remembering that I loved this book and I really wanted to read it. Now I probably wouldn't have picked this one up reading the back of it just because it seemed like it's interesting. It's not that I have anything against this book, it's just I have a lot of other things that I think I would like to read before this. The next one is to pick up a book that you associate with a very specific time of your life. But I did end up picking up Beautiful Creatures by Cami Garcia and Margaret Stoll. This one I believe I read when I was a junior in high school, and it was when the library in my high school was starting a book club, and I was one of the first members, and I just remember sitting down with people and talking about this book and opening up this book and being like entirely like in this world, and I loved it so much. So this reminds me of like the end of high school. The next one is a book that you used to love but don't anymore, and I picked up Dreamland by Sarah Dessen. Now this one is on my like favorites of all time. I think it's gonna stay there, but it's about an abusive relationship, and I think for me the reason I liked it so much was I'd never read anything as hard-hitting like that before, and I had never read about an abusive relationship, and it doesn't really tell you, at least on the back, it didn't really tell me what it was about. It just told me that like this girl gets a boyfriend and then things kind of start to change a little bit, but I didn't know it was because he was being abusive, and so I think that's why I liked it, because there was this big like plot twist for me. Now reading about this, I don't think if I knew this was about an abusive relationship I would pick it up, just because like that's not something that I love to read about. And the last book is the newest one to your shelf, the one that you just picked up, and I literally bought this one as of filming this yesterday, and that is A Maguire Christmas by Noah Roberts. This one is one that I've been looking for, a book that is a good, like just fluffy Christmas romance. Like I don't want to think, but I want it to be fluffy and cute. And this one is set in Scotland in 1745. There are 2 books in here, a full-length book and like a kind of short story, so there's 2 like settings, but it's both set in the past, so I'm very excited about this one. Okay, we have been here for quite a while, and I messed up a little bit, but that is okay. But that's everything that I picked up. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me tag some people because this was quite a lot of fun. So let's see. I'm going to tag Serena from A Wandering Mind, Dora from Confessing My Reads. I'll do Kier as well. I think that's all I'm going to tag right now. But I hope you guys enjoyed. This was fun, just kind of like looking at all of my books and remembering kind of when I read them, because there are quite a few on my shelves that I've had for a very long time, or I read a very long time ago, and just trying to like remember when I actually read those. Was an experience. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to do this tag, by all means, consider yourself tagged, challenged, whatever. Do it. I will leave all the questions down below, so you can definitely do it if you want to. But thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to be part of this awesome grind family we've got going on over here. But with that being said, I will see you guys in my next video.